Tomorrow, Chelsea take on arguably our toughest test to date. We're heading back to the bridge once more as we host Nottingham Forest in our latest Premier League tie. The Blues will be looking to do some deforestation in this one, but who will start and how can we best our opponents in this match? Lads, lasses and the rest of the masses, welcome back to the lead-in. Let's go. So let's firstly set the scene and then we'll get into some predicted lineups. It's Chelsea versus Forest, a fixture that has an extensive history spanning all the way back to 1906, just 1 year after the club was founded. Despite our usual dominance over them though, they have been tough customers for us to handle in recent times, ever since they returned to the Premier League in 2022, with the Blues only able to win 1 out of our 4 games between the two sides since they got promoted. Let's briefly touch on our opponents first, then we'll talk about Chelsea's lineup. Forest are doing incredibly well for their standards in the league so far. They are currently sitting in 10th place with 9 points to their name, which is a great start for a team whose highest finish since they returned to the Premier League is 16th. Not only that, but their record is good too. 2 wins, 3 draws and only 1 loss. They are a difficult team to beat. Let's take a look at their transfer business this summer. Firstly, their outgoings. They absolutely hemorrhaged players, mainly to comply with FFP rules, but luckily for them they haven't really lost anyone too impactful, with Moussa Niakate, Remo Freuler and Orel Mangala being the biggest losses out of this list. On the flip side, their incoming business has been very smart. They replaced the lost centre-backs with Milenkovic and Morato, they bolstered their midfield with Elliot Anderson and James Ward-Prowse on loan, and improved in other areas such as left-back with the acquisition of Alex Moreno. Overall, I think their quality has risen from the previous year, so that being said, let's take a look at the possible lineup for this Forest team and see what we will be up against. Firstly, let's talk absentees. The Tricky Trees have a couple of players out injured, Ibrahim Sangare has a thigh problem, and Brazilian Danilo is still nursing an ankle issue. Apart from that, there should be no other players out. Are we putting Nuno Espirito Santo's side into the 4-2-3-1 formation that they've used in the past? But I wouldn't be surprised if they swapped to a 5 at the back either. First up in goal is going to be Matt Sells. The Belgian shot stopper is a large reason for Forest's success so far and will start once more. The defence is not going to change in my opinion, so starting with the right back it's going to be ex-Chelsea defender Ola Aina. The centre-back partnership is a combination of the big Serbian Nikola Milenkovic and Brazilian Murillo in the right and left centre-back spots respectively. Finally, over on the left will be Spanish loanee Alex Moreno. Moving into the midfield, we'll start with the holding roles. I'm going for a partnership of James Ward-Prowse and Elliot Anderson, though I do see a place for Yates in one of these roles as well. In the more advanced roles, we'll start on the right. I think we're going to see a lot of dynamism in this attacking line, so I'll be going for Anthony Elanga. Next to him in the centre will of course be Morgan Gibbs-White, who returns to the side after he was suspended against Fulham. Finally, on the left will be a name we all know very well. Ex-Chelsea youth product Callum Hudson-Odoi will be looking to impress against his former side once again. That leaves one spot in the team at striker, and as Taiwo Awoniyi didn't have the greatest game last time out, I'll be putting in Chris Wood, who'll lead the line at striker. That's just a brief look at what their team could look like. There's a lot of contentious positions here, so this could well change around a lot. Now let's turn our attention to Chelsea and see what our lineup for this game could be. Once again, there's not too many absentees for this one. Reece James is still injured, as is Amari Kellyman. Apart from that, everyone is available for this one, so I'll be putting Enzo Maresca's Chelsea team in the 4-3-3 formation once again, with wholesale changes from our 4-2 victory in the Conference League in midweek. Starting with the goalkeeper, I'm going to be putting in Robert Sanchez. Despite his shaky game last time out, I don't expect him to lose his place, so the Spaniard starts once more. For the back four, it's going to be returning to arguably our strongest defence. Starting at right back, it's a return to a starting role for Malo Gusto. The centre-back duo will be as it always is, with Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwill starting at right and left centre-back respectively. And finally, over on the left will of course be Marc Cucurella, who will likely play as a left centre-back in truth. Moving into the midfield, this is going back to something we've seen before. I think that Romeo Lavia is finally ready to start at the base of midfield once again. Ahead of him in the more advanced roles, that presents us with a small dilemma, but I'm going for both Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Ahead of them in the attacking roles, let's start on the right. If all 3 midfielders start like I suggested, then I reckon we see Cole Palmer replace Noni Madueke on this right side, who's fallen into a bit of a rough patch. On the opposite side, I have no doubt that Jadon Sancho will start once more. Another assist from him would see him be the first Chelsea player to get 4 assists in his first 4 matches since Cesc Fabregas. Finally, up top will be Nicholas Jackson. We'll need his dynamism if the game turns scrappy, so hopefully he can get himself another goal involvement here. Apart from that, I think this is a solid team and perfectly capable of beating Forest, and we'll talk about how in a little bit. But before we do, it's time for today's comment question of the day, so answer me this. What would be your starting 11 for this game, and why? Let me know in the comments down below with QOTD at the start as always, and I'll heart my favourite answers. Now let's take a look at how Chelsea can navigate this game tactically, and see how we can beat the tricky trees in this game. But before that, I just wanted to ask you guys to follow me on my other socials, the main one being my Twitter, or X. Over 18,000 of you subscribe to me on this channel, but only 400 of you follow me over there. If everyone that's watching this video could follow me over there, we could easily hit over 1,000 on that account, I believe. I live tweet every single Chelsea game, and I'm also allowed to be a bit more unfiltered over there, so you're missing out. Also, if you like shorter content, I do have a TikTok too. I've been recently posting some teasers on my YouTube shorts, but the full videos will be on my TikTok, and that's where I'll be kind of doing more fun, less analytical, and a bit more jokey things and or rants. So for that type of content, you can go see me over there. I appreciate you guys as always, and hope to see you guys over on those other platforms too. Now let's get back to the video. Alright, so here we have the team, and it's a bit of an odd setup to what we're used to, with the midfield being all of our kind of defensive midfielders and there not being a traditional number 10 in one of these midfield roles. So I'm going to put the team into how I expect them to play, and we'll kind of talk about how that kind of works in the grand scheme of things. So in this setup, whenever we have Gusto and Cucurella as our fullbacks, I will always assume that Gusto will be the player to invert from this right side, with Cucurella acting as this left centre back, as I mentioned before. And with this, it presents us with two options of how we set up further up the pitch. Lavia obviously will come into this left-hand 6, and Gusto will play in this right-hand 6. Maybe we see Gusto play as that kind of right-sided 8 where he can get up the pitch, but with Caicedo here, I don't think that will happen, because that would just force Caicedo to play as a 10, and I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be playing particularly a diamond midfield. I think we're going to be doing more of this box that we have. And how this is going to work in game, in my opinion, is it's coming from Palmer on this right hand side, who I've put in instead of Noni Madueke, because Palmer's obviously starting, and Noni's had a bit of a tough time recently, so I feel like he's the most expendable player in terms of if we have to get rid of a player for Lavia to come into this 6 role. Now, what I see here is two options. We either see Palmer obviously cutting inside onto his left foot to play the central role, with Caicedo going around outside him, because he can play in this kind of right wing back role. We've seen him do that before. Or more likely, and what I expect to happen, is that Gusto plays as a traditional kind of bombing up and down fullback, where he can get out wide here, let Caicedo drop into this 6 role with Lavia, and then we get Palmer and Enzo in these two 10s, with Gusto as the furthest player out here on the wide area. Now, against a team like Forest, who are going to be very, very compact, I think he's going to have a lot of freedom to get on the ball in these types of areas and put balls into the box. And though Nottingham Forest are a very tall team, or a very strong team, and will be able to defend aerial balls pretty well, I think the prospect of getting the situation where we can play the ball into Palmer, get Gusto on a run into these advanced areas, and then kind of Palmer can play the ball into him and Gusto can get advanced and cut balls across for Jackson or Enzo or Sancho, whoever is coming in at the back post. I think that's a very good way for us to get some chances, and I think in general this is how we can balance this team with being able to deal with the transitions, because we know that Forest are not going to be a team that presents much of a threat in terms of keeping the ball and having extended spells of possession where they are putting pressure on us. So with this, I don't think we need as many I don't think we need many attacking players. We need players that can control the ball, that can hold possession, and can unlock defenses. And I think Enzo and Palmer are the perfect two to do this. And also, we need the two holding roles to be able to defend against the transitions, because that's their deadliest weapon, is the transitions down the left and right flanks. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when I talk about Forest. I think having both Lavia and Caicedo will help combat that, because we know we're kind of exposed on the wide areas because of how we set up with this 3 at the back. So we're going to need the extra defensive cover there, because we know exactly what Forest are going to do in this game. They've done it against us multiple times, and they've been successful pretty much every single time, except for how we barely won last time out against them. And we're going to be having to defend transitions for the majority of this game. Now let's talk about Forest, because they could set up in different ways here. I put them in a standard 4-2-3-1 because we've seen them play that. They played a 4-4-2 against Fulham and it didn't really work, and then our knee got taken off and they went into a more traditional setup with the two wingers. They could also go to a 5 at the back. We've seen them do this against us before. We've seen a lot of teams always play 5 at the back against Chelsea because we've notoriously struggled to break down low blocks. I don't know how we're going to fare against low blocks in this new style Maresca side, and this is the first time we're really ever coming up against one with our full strength side. Obviously we've come up against low blocks against Barrow and against Hent in the cups and the Europa Conference League, but that was not with our full strength sides, and we dealt with those pretty well. And we'll kind of have to just see against this tougher opposition, this more defensively astute opposition, whether we could beat a low block. What they could do is, as I said, they could go into a 5 at the back system. We could see Bolly come in. He's a player that's played against us multiple times, and they could play this 5 at the back system and be a bit more pragmatic, but I don't think they will do that. I think that they see the threat down the wings with their wingers, who are very dynamic, very fast, and very good on the counter. Now, let's talk about their strengths and their weaknesses. I think the main thing is how solid defensively they are, how compact they are, and obviously they have this bank of 4 with a very strong back 4. I would suggest they've got a much better back 4 than they used to do, and with the addition of Alex Moreno, we get to see Ole Einar playing on his right side. Obviously, he can play both sides, and they were playing him as a left-sided fullback for the majority of the time here. But now he can play in his stronger right side, and I think that really suits him. And obviously he's very difficult to beat 1v1. Sancho is going to have a big tough test against him. Obviously we're going to try and get this 1v1 happening with Sancho on the left hand side. I think that's a kind of a jewel to look out for. The two centre backs are obviously really big with Milenkovic and Murillo, and then, as I said, Alex Moreno, we know how good he is from his time at Villa. And yeah, we're going to have to try and break down this solid defensive wall with the two holding midfielders as well. And obviously when they do this, they're not just going to sit like this. We have the extra players up top here with Alanga, Gibbs White, and Callum Hudson-Odoi, and then obviously Chris Wood up top, and we'll see the work rate from Alanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi to get back and make these two banks of 4 and be really compact. We'll also see Morgan Gibbs White at times come into this and make a bank of 5, and we'll have to try and break down these really tight, compact defense, which will prove a difficult task, I think. And if we can break this down, I think it shows the quality of our team and how well we've kind of progressed since we played under Mauricio Pochettino and other managers, where we've struggled to break down these types of teams. I think this is going to be, as I said, a kind of measuring stick for how we've progressed as a team and how we've progressed under Enzo Maresca. Now, obviously, not only are they good compact, good defensively, and they don't concede many goals, they don't lose very much. That's a big part of Nottingham Forest's identity, is that they just don't lose. They don't always win, but they don't lose. That's one of the things. They got very unlucky to lose against Fulham. They obviously conceded a penalty, and they lost that one goal. As I said, they don't really concede a lot of goals outside of things like that. And what they basically like to do, they stay really compact, and then they are absolutely fantastic on the transition, especially in wide areas. Now, we see all this space open up. If they're able to win the ball, say they win an aerial duel here with one of their centre-backs and they can get it out to Ward-Prowse, for example, who's very good on the ball at passing. As soon as we see this happen and they win the ball, both the wingers will absolutely bomb it up the wing as quickly as they can, and they'll play those balls into those avenues and get the team running at the defenders. And obviously what this does is it allows them to play against an exposed backline without these 5 players up here to kind of help combat the threat of them going forward. And obviously they get this 3v1, and their kind of plan is to get up here and have what we kind of like to do, where we get these 1v1s all over the pitch, and they kind of do it with Wood in the middle, who can against a 3 at the back can occupy the central centre back. Against a 4 at the back, he can occupy both centre backs because they both kind of have to track him. And then we get Elanga against the left back, and we get Callum Hudson-Odoi against the right back. And we see this all the time, especially from this from this side with Callum Hudson-Odoi. He is so good at doing the one thing that he does, but you know how the saying goes, is that you don't fear a person that does 1,000 tricks, you fear the opponent that has practiced one trick 1,000 times. And his one trick is cutting onto this right foot of his and bending one into the far corner, and he's so good at that because he's so good at beating his man. Now when you have this, and obviously when the players are running backwards, it's extremely hard to defend against this, and they get a lot of success from this, not only from Callum cutting inside and bending one into the far corner with his shots, but he can also bend one to the far post for Alanga to get on the end of, and even if he doesn't get a shot off on goal, he can always cut it back to Chris Wood, or this cross can just come into Wood when he makes a run into the box, and we know how good aerially he is. And in general how good as a finisher he is, and as a target forward he is, and that's kind of the pattern of play that we will see throughout the game. We will see the very stubborn backline defending as hard as they can. We'll see them try and move the ball quickly and directly up the pitch as quickly as they can on the transition, try and catch us out when we have committed bodies forward, especially if we have committed maybe one of our midfielders forward, say Caicedo. He's probably the more likely to come up, and when they get this situation, they'll try and get Gibbs White up here, and they'll have this 4v4, and they'll reckon that they can beat us in this 4v4. That they kind of back themselves to be able to do that, and we'll have to see whether they can. Obviously we know how good Morgan Gibbs White can be in this creative role, and at times if he can obviously splay the ball out to the wide areas and get his teammates in behind, then that's going to present danger for us. Now I mentioned how tall they are, how strong in the air they are, and that's kind of another thing I want to touch on is set pieces. Now Forest before this season were absolutely fantastic from set pieces, not only because they are so tall and strong in the air as I mentioned, so anything from corners or to free kicks in the wide areas, even throw-ins have been very deadly for them, but now there's the added caveat, the fact that they now have James Ward-Prowse, and I mentioned this before, I genuinely believe that James Ward-Prowse is one of, if not the best free kick taker that has ever been in the Premier League. He is so accurate from his free kicks that a lot of people actually joke that getting a free kick with James Ward-Prowse on it in kind of this area is pretty much like giving whoever team he's playing for at the time a penalty, because he's so accurate from these free kicks. And not only that, because he presents this threat as from direct free kicks, he also presents much more of a threat from his indirect free kicks from deep areas, because we like to see they like to kind of put the ball into the mixer from deep areas, even if the free kick is quite far away. When he puts the ball into the box, there's going to be a Milenkovic who's 6'5", there's going to be Murillo who's about 6'3", around there. These two are going to be able to win the ball, and if Sanchez is not at his best, like we kind of have seen him being a bit shaky recently, and he's not claiming the high balls, or if Colwill and Fofana are not doing their jobs aerially, or more importantly, if the ball is put onto Cucurella, who is not the greatest in the air, not the tallest, I kind of expect them to kind of push whoever is the spare man onto Cucurella in these situations, because for some reason we like to put Cucurella on the tallest man. We see him marking Haaland a lot when we play City and things like that. If they're able to do this, then they will get chances, and if we concede from these chances, it will be very difficult for us to get back into the game with how stubborn they are defensively. Now, I kind of mentioned it before, from throw-ins, one of the things which we kind of need to watch out for is Aina on this right-hand side. Now, Aina has got a long throw on him. We've seen it when he played for Torino. He likes to launch the ball into the area, and again, this just presents another situation where we can concede from. And I think the main problem, the thing we need to kind of watch out for in this game is in general, is just not conceding early. If we concede early, it's going to be an absolute nightmare, because they don't need to score again. They have a philosophy where they will try and score, and as soon as they score, they will sit back into this 2 banks of 4, or the 2 banks of 4 or the 1 bank of 4 and the 5 here, and they will be like, go on then, try and beat us, try and break us down, because it's really difficult to do so. And then again, this kind of feeds into their game plan, because you push so hard trying to get to goal that you leave yourself exposed for all these transitions that they are so deadly from. So it's a really bad proposition if we let them score early. If we score early, I think that is the greatest thing for us, because they will kind of have to open up a little bit and try and get a goal back, and that will help us to break down the low block that they play, because they'll have to come out more. And that's kind of where I see us getting success if we are able to. If we're able to get a very early goal, and we can kind of force them to not play their game plan like they like to. If we play into their hands and let them do this, then they're just going to be very comfortable. We kind of need to force the issue and make them uncomfortable and make them have to work harder and try and get goals against us rather than the other way around. Now, let's talk about some weaknesses of this team. Obviously, they are very, very negative, and the main problem that they have in this Nottingham Forest team is that they give up possession, right? They are very, very solid defensively, but they will not press you too hard, and they will not try and get the ball off you if you're just passing it around your back line. Obviously, we are a team that likes to keep possession. We are a team that likes to play positional passing football, and if they give us too much of the ball in this game, we will find opportunities to score, especially with creative players like Palmer, who can play balls deep into the box, players like Enzo, who can play balls deep into the box, and players like Gusto on this right hand side, who's got a very, very good delivery on him. We can definitely create chances. It's just a matter of taking them if we are able to do that. And obviously, we'll have to see players like Sancho, who is kind of the most creative player in terms of a dribbler in this team that I've kind of put out. He will have to be very, very, very direct, try and break through this situation. Obviously, he's going to be in a 2v1 for pretty much the entire game, unless Cucurella gets up to support him, which I don't think will happen very much. Enzo obviously will come up here to try and help, but he's going to be doubled up on the entire game, so he's got to be quite tricky. We've seen him be very, very good at beating players so far in his very few appearances so far this season, so hopefully he can do that. And as I said, in general, Nottingham Forest are not a very high scoring team. They like to score 1 or maybe 2 goals and then sit back and defend that lead. They don't really like to put the pressure on teams as soon as they've got ahead. They don't like to batter teams. They like to kind of sit on their laurels and just take the win, because they don't need to score loads of goals. As long as they have more goals than the opposition, they win, right? So they don't always try and score more goals, which could be a detriment to them. And also, they kind of run out of ideas if the counterattacks don't work. Now, we've kind of seen this, that obviously, as I said, they don't score a lot of goals. If they aren't able to get these counterattacks going, they don't get Alanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi into the game as much as they would like, they are, as I said, so negative that it kind of stops them from being able to do much. And I think that if we are solid defensively, and as I said, if Lavia and Caicedo, as well as our other defenders, are able to shut down these counterattacks pretty quickly, we know how good Caicedo is at shutting down transitions, and we know how good in general this team is at shutting down transitions, or how it's supposed to be able to, because we have the 5 players back. We usually see in teams that's set up in like a 4-2-3-1, for example, that on transitions they'll have 4 players back. We get 5 because we have the extra midfielder, or the inverted midfielder, whoever is playing here at the time. We kind of have that extra protection against transitions, so hopefully we can kind of deal with that. And also, the other thing I kind of want to mention about Forest is the fact they give away a lot of fouls, and they have a lot of kind of hotheads in the team. I think Morgan Gibbs-White is the main one I would target. I think he's a bit of a hothead. We obviously see Callum is a bit feisty. We see Chris Wood is a bit feisty. They have the joint 5th most amount of yellow cards and the joint 2nd amount for reds, because obviously Morgan Gibbs-White got sent off. I think this is a team that we could definitely rattle at our home ground, and kind of if the home crowd is doing what they're supposed to do and kind of getting on the players' backs, I think that we could definitely rattle them and cause them to kind of lose their heads a little bit. We've seen that happen in the past. Obviously, this is a very feisty game, especially considering we have former Chelsea players in the side, so we could see that happen. So how do we beat this? And this is the main problem, right? We have this bastion that we have to try and break down. How do we do it? There's one simple answer for this, and it's just moving the ball quickly. We can't just sit and pass the ball slowly, because what this does is it just allows the team to move around, shift across, and not waste much energy trying to do this, right? As soon as the ball goes over to the right hand side or the left hand side here, they can just shift their players across. And if we aren't moving the ball immediately and getting it up to this side, you can see when they move across, we now have the space that kind of opens up as they do this. We won't get that space if we move the ball slowly, because they can just very easily shift across and then that space is gone, right? We need to be able to move the ball quickly, not only just when we're passing it around and when we're passing it high up, if we play our high line here. We don't just need to pass it quickly between these players that are kind of recycling possession, but between the players in the central role as well. We know how good Jackson and Palmer are as a combination in terms of when they pass towards each other. We need to kind of be able to see this kind of not tiki-taka because that's a silly way to put it, but quick one-touch, two-touch passing that we kind of know that Enzo Maresca likes to employ. And when we get this situation, I think like a lot of the combos we're going to get is playing it into Jackson popping it off to Enzo or Palmer again, and then them playing the ball in behind for a run from Jackson or Sancho. We see this 1-2 happening between Enzo and Sancho. They've kind of made a bit of a good connection in recent times. We obviously got the penalty against Brighton from that kind of combination with Sancho and Enzo, so we might have to do that. The other thing is just pinpoint passes from deep areas. Now, I spoke about this earlier, but balls from Gusto out wide, balls from Palmer into the box from here if he's not pressured too much because they're playing this low block. If they give us time on the ball without pressing, then they will probably pay the price for it. Enzo, obviously, again, another good passer of the ball. Caicedo, another great passer of the ball. Cucurella, another good passer of the ball if he likes to get up high as well. So we're going to have to make those opportunities for ourselves. And I think that's kind of the main thing, is that we need to not expect chances to come our way. We need to make the chances. We need to actually force the issue. We need to be asking them questions all the time, even though they are very good aerially, for example. They're very, very good at defending in general. We need to be constantly bombarding them with questions and trying to test this bastion, because you can't break down the wall if you don't try and put a sledgehammer to it. So we're gonna have to keep doing that. We're going to have to keep probing, keep making those runs, and just doing what we kind of have seen from this Chelsea team in recent times, where we keep trying to get on top of teams, and when we are on top of teams, we keep trying to look for more goals. I think that's going to be the main thing, is that if this game is close and we let them stay in the game at 1-0, for example, if we get one goal, then they definitely have the opportunity to get back at us and get a draw, get a point, or even get 2 goals and then beat us. We have to put the boots to them when we are on top, and I think that's the main thing I kind of want to talk about here, is that I think we need to put in a very thoroughly professional performance against a team that by all means should not be causing us any issues, and especially considering this new found Chelsea team is much better at breaking down these types of low blocks. Now, if they do come out and they are playing this transitional football and it turns into a bit of a basketball match, I think that will suit us more. We kind of see how good we are on the transition too. So when they have the players out and they're kind of a bit more exposed, with obviously Gibbs White here, we can definitely cause them issues on the counter as well. And as I said, if they are doing if they are in the situation where they have to come out and try and get a goal, if we're ahead, we can definitely take advantage of them pushing up and trying to get goals themselves by going the other way and hitting them on the break. I think another thing we need to kind of look out for is this midfield battle that we kind of see a lot. Now, again, I always speak about this, but against teams that play this 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, we always have the advantage here in the midfield. We have 4 versus 3, and we basically just need to keep finding the spare man, whether that be Palmer, who likes to drift into space and get on the ball when players are being pressed here, or if it's, for example, Caicedo, who gets free when Lavia gets pressed or whatever. We always need to be finding that spare man, because we can pass our way around this. There always will be a spare man when we are 4v3, because we have the advantage here, especially if they press us. We don't think they're going to press us very much because of how they usually play, and they usually play very standoffish type football. If they do decide to press us, they do have quick players up with Alanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi and Gibbs White, for example. If they do try and press us high here, it's going to be much easier for us to kind of navigate around and kind of play our way out, especially considering we have the midfield advantage. When we play it around and get into the midfield, I think we just have to utilize that, and again, use that quick one-touch passing to be able to get around them and create the opportunities for ourselves where we have space. For example, Palmer here, even though this looks like he's kind of crowded out, I back anyone, especially Palmer in the form that he's in, to be able to get into these positions and create, no matter if that's playing it into Jackson in the centre or just shooting himself. If we can get these small half chances, then I think we'll be able to create more actual chances, and yeah, be able to kind of find success where we wouldn't usually be able to against a team that is very, very solid like Forest are. The other thing is just keeping possession. It kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said there, but we just want to keep the ball. Obviously, if they don't have the ball, they can't score, and we know how pragmatic they can be and how much possession they can give up. If we are able to just keep the ball the entire game, get about 70, maybe more possession against them, they obviously won't be able to do much with that if they do not get the ball. I think keeping possession will be a massive, massive thing for this game, because if we keep giving the ball away and we keep being sloppy on the ball and they keep getting those transitional opportunities, they will punish us eventually. That's how good they can be on the transition. They will get opportunities to score against against us, especially with how shaky Sanchez has been. If he makes a mistake in possession, for example, they could definitely punish us for those mistakes. We saw it kind of punished in the Brighton game, and luckily it didn't really affect things. But against a team like this, where we won't get many opportunities to score, we can't be making those types of mistakes. The only other thing I kind of want to be talking about here is nullifying their creative players by not only, I would say, man marking Morgan Gibbs-White. I think would be a very good thing. He's obviously their most creative player in my opinion. I think sticking Lavia or Caicedo on him just all game would be a good way to nullify them when they try and play out. Obviously, if they win the ball and they try and transition it by getting it to him, obviously if we then take the ball off it, not only are they exposed because they've played their players up, but then we can kind of progress and go forward ourselves and just kind of nullify, as I said, nullify that threat that he possesses. Also, James Ward-Prowse. Now, James Ward-Prowse is obviously a very, very good set-piece taker, and I've mentioned this earlier, but I think the most important thing in this game is just to not give silly free kicks away. No silly free kicks in this area, no silly free kicks just ahead of the halfway line where he can play deep balls, no silly free kicks out in these wide areas. Obviously, Cucurella will be up against Elanga, Fofana will be up against Callum Hudson-Odoi, and those two are very good at drawing fouls. We don't want to be giving away throw-ins anywhere between about here to here. We don't want to be giving throw-ins because they can obviously throw the long ball in, and if we can stop them from getting these very obvious opportunities with how tall and powerful they are, I think we can shut them out. I genuinely think that this is going to be a game where we prove that we can mix it with these types of tough oppositions and tough teams to break down, and if we're able to do this, I genuinely think we have a good chance of competing for top 4, competing for titles, competing for trophies. I think that this is a very important game to kind of answer some questions that we have about this team before we go on that very, very long run against a lot of the big top teams that we've got coming up, like Liverpool, United, Arsenal, etc. For a score prediction, I'm going to be predicting yet another victory for Chelsea. I think we'll largely dominate the ball and get a rather straightforward 2-0 result, with Nicholas Jackson and Jadon Sancho getting the goals. We'll have to wait until the game to see if any of my predictions are correct, and as always, I will be live streaming immediately after the game with Feeling Blue to review the match, so make sure you come through if you are able. But if you can't wait until then, YouTube reckons you'll enjoy one of these 2 videos on screen in the meantime. Thank you guys so much for watching as ever, and remember, in the rain or in the dry, keep that blue flag flying high. Come on, you Blues.